right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Winner's Word Pod. Today, we have a very special guest, Evan Porter, the account owner of TwolvesInsider. Man, we got some Timberwolves shenanigans to talk about this week, man. Say what's up to the people, Evan.
What's going on, guys?
Yes, sir. We're going to be talking about another team that we can give some slander to. It's always the Lakers every single week. Now, I can finally have someone to share the pain. Evan, man, the Timberwolves were projected to be one of the best teams in the Western Conference this season. In the preseason, y'all had ESPN top 25 players, I believe, in the NBA.
Real.
And what's going on, man? You guys are 13 and 14, outside looking in on even the in tournament. What do you got to say about the Timberwolves right now?
Oh man, where to start? I mean, 13 and 14. The funny thing is, the good thing is we're only 2.5 games back from fourth, so it's still everyone in the West is kind of close. So not like super worried, but yeah, definitely underperforming to say the least. I actually posted yesterday. I think the biggest kind of concerns is rebounding the ball, guarding the 3-point line. We're just getting outran every game on the 3-point line and just second chance points. So we're giving up leads. We're not getting back in the game. So just a lot of kind of fix right now. A lot of people are kind of questioning Chris Finch, and he was preseason one of the top coach of the year candidates. I think I think Sports Illustrated had him number one, and a couple other places had him top. So a lot of people are kind of mad at Tim Conley too. The Gobert trade.
Understandably.
Yeah, I originally liked the Gobert trade just because I think Minnesota last year lacked the rebounding, the defense, and Gobert's done pretty well. But it's I think it's just the team effort. We're just getting beat every game, and we're not playing up to standards for sure.
Yeah, man. We've had some takes for sure as a pod about Rudy Gobert, and there are definitely some positive Rudy Gobert appreciators on this pod, and there are some guys that are not so high on Rudy Gobert, so to speak. I personally feel like I've low key gotten a little bit bamboozled by the Minnesota Timberwolves because I actually thought this was going to be a trade that would put them in position to not necessarily contend, but at least be a surefire playoff team in the Western Conference. And it has not been that way, but you're right, man. It's not just Gobert that is to blame for this. You go down the line. I think a lot of us were expecting a big jump from Anthony Edwards. We have not seen it happen yet. We were expecting Karl Anthony Towns to at least build off of an all-NBA season that he had last year, and he's been very disappointing. Let me go to open it up to the rest of the panel, man. What are y'all thoughts on the Minnesota Timberwolves right now? What really needs to change?
For a team that's starting Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert, you should not be getting out-rebounded, and all these second-chance opportunities shouldn't be given up that Evan was talking about. So that's a big concern for me. And honestly, when I look at the trade and I look at how the team's performing, I say Walker Kessler could do what Rudy Gobert has done this season. I have not been impressed at all. And you guys know how high I was on the Wolves preseason. I had them, I think, as the 3rd seed. I liked the trade for both Gobert and Cat and the Wolves. So for me, I've definitely been let down as someone who is really high on the Wolves preseason.
Wow. Yeah. I think a lot of people kind of realize that maybe the Towns playing power forward next to Gobert is now working out. Towns is he's a really bad defender. I mean, he's like bottom percentile on the defensive end, and now he's guarding kind of wing players who are having it easy on him. And I just think Towns is considered a whiner, a baby among Wolves fans. Like I don't know. So we were 3-3 without him. I was actually reading something. So basically, we have the same defensive and offensive rating without Cat. So it's kind of interesting to see, does he really impact the Wolves? So a lot of people are kind of being like, oh, is Cat the problem? Should we trade Cat and try to get picks and a couple of players back and keep Rudy? I think Rudy's been better with Russell and Edwards, and I'm going to be totally honest. I think without Cat, I think Rudy in the pick and roll and with Russell's actually been playing a lot better without Cat. He's been playing a lot better basketball. Ant's been more active without Cat as well. So I don't know. It's something to figure out. I mean, it's still pretty early, so I'm not gonna like give up and all that. So maybe Towns comes back and we get it together. Could be a chemistry thing. I mean, there's kind of a lot to there's a lot to weigh on. So I don't want to like 100% kind of give my full take on it. But
Yeah.
I think it was always gonna be like difficult to incorporate a 2 center lineup. It was gonna take some time at least. But I think the issue with what you're talking about right now is now it's are we looking to trade Towns when I feel like Gobert is doing his job. Gobert is doing what we expect him to do for the most part. But the thing is, you bring in Gobert to make the job easier for Edwards and Towns. And if anything, their life has probably been more difficult and their flaws are being exposed even more with Gobert being on the team now. You had Edwards make some comments, maybe it was overblown, but about just not being able to get to the rim, and not be earlier in the season he was struggling to even dunk the ball because the lane was so clogged.
I think he's been better at that recently, but yeah.
For sure. And then you have Towns like running around on the perimeter trying to play.
It just looks dumb. It just looks dumb. I mean, if you like really watch a Timberwolves game, it looks like watching Cat play like a different position and just having him like be all over the place and like it's not working. I mean, it's kind of hard to watch. I mean, the games have been hard to watch. I mean, we're getting blown out on the 3-point line. Honestly, outside of this team's lack shooting too, we don't really have a lot of knockdown shooters on the team. I mean, our best 3-point shooters honestly might be Taurean Prince, who's injured right now. I mean, we don't really have a lot of shooter. Edwards is still finding his consistency. D'Lo's been shooting better. He's been shooting a lot better, but that's with that Cat out. When Cat was on the lineup, D'Lo was playing like D'Lo was last year. He wasn't doing much, but now he has been good. I will give D'Lo his credit because I am a D'Lo hater, but I'm going to give him his credit.
I was going to bring that up. Your comment section definitely does not like some of your takes regarding D'Lo.
No, they don't, man. They don't let me live. So,
has he played well enough recently for you to back off of him a little bit, or are you still just?
Yeah. Of course, he's played well recently.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot better. I gave him. I posted about him the other day. I mean, he's been shooting the ball really well. Again, without Cat, he's been pretty consistent. He's been knocking down a lot. He's been our best kind of scorer and jump shooter in the clutch recently. So he definitely deserves his flowers. But it's just hard to see. I mean, he is on a contract year again, so it's interesting to see like what Conley after making that big trade. I don't know what's gonna happen with re-signing D'Lo. Do we look at trading other guys too? I don't really know. I mean, this team's just underperforming, like flat out. Like it should not be 13 and 14. I think most people had the Wolves, especially with that starting lineup. Like I think they had them top 5 seed in the West. Like I personally had them like 3 or 4 because I just thought that on paper that team looked insanely talented on paper, and it's just been an underperforming. It's been sad for the fans. I was hoping the T-Wolves would cheer me up a little bit this year. They really haven't. So,
in hindsight, do you think a Jeremy Grant trade at like for 50 times cheaper would have been better and keep Cat at the 5?
I love Jeremy Grant. Honestly, I would love to trade a guy like Cat for a couple of like high-end role players in picks. And I'm the biggest Karl-Anthony Towns fan. Like I've defended that man my whole life. Like I love him, but this year, man, I finally I kind of gave up on him. I'm like, it hurts me to say it, but I think a Cat trade is the best thing for this team. And I like it sounds weird, but I think when you think about, I like Rudy. I like his fit with a guy like Anthony Edwards in the long term, just in the pick and roll. And like, I think he lets our guards play better. If you trade Cat and get, another good forward, like a Jeremy Grant type forward to pair with like Jaden or something like that, in a couple other role players, get some pits back. I think our team would be fine, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
I don't know what Jeremy Grants there are though.
Like it's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I can vouch when you say you're the biggest Cat fan I've legitimately ever met. Like, so that's crazy to hear you say that you are open, and
I'm open to it.
Almost seems like you're looking. You would be happy if a Cat trade went down.
Obviously, I want to be like happy because I love the guy, and he's a great guy. I met him in person, like great human. There's a lot happened to him. He's he's gone through a lot. So like obviously, I don't think he deserves the hate that he gets. I think he's one of the most hated players in the NBA, which honestly kind of hurts to see just because he's been through so much. But
you're putting him in good dude university. That's what you're doing right now. Like, at that point, that point in time where we just say he's a great guy, but it's just not working.
It's not working
No,
out.
it's over, bro.
It really isn't. Like I think a lot of people are starting to realize that Cat's impact isn't as I mean, we're playing just as good without him. We have the same ratings with him without. Like I think it was 19 offense, 19 without him, 13 defensively, 14 without him or with him. So does he impact the Wolves? I mean, it's kind of like a thing to think about. But yeah, I mean, Chris Finch also just does not know how to call a timeout. All these teams are going runs, and the Wolves just let it sleep. Finch just doesn't know how to use the timeouts. Seems like they're always getting just second chance points. Like I said, defensive rebounding has been awful. Gobert's the only one getting rebounds. I mean, no one's hustling for rebounds. We're just getting outworked, bro. Like literally just energy. Like look at last year's team. Pat Bev, Vanderbilt. A lot of people were like, "Oh my god, I miss these guys." Because
y'all can have Pat Bev back, man. I'll give it to you. You can have him.
Yeah, he's been bad, but he was good on the Wolves last year. Like he played a really good role for the Wolves. He played well. Vanderbilt, 110% guy. He goes hard every game he plays. I think the Wolves are just missing that kind of energy. I mean, for sure. I mean, it seems like some guys aren't coming to play, and that's when you got to kind of have to look at like who's playing hard, who's not. Like at this point, we're 13 and 14. We're supposed to be a win now team. So is it time to start just dealing guys who aren't playing hard? Like I don't know. So I guess we'll have to see, but kind of sad. I mean, it should be better. I'm still gonna hope we get in the playoffs, but
yeah,
still right there.
Good right now.
When you were talking about Towns, I was looking at his numbers. Yeah, he's basically career lows in points, rebounds, and 3-point percentage. And that's like those are the main things you want.
He's been a passer. He's been more of like a playmaking big now. He's averaging like 5.5 assists, which is weird. He's
right.
He just fits. He's looking so. He's just always like seems misplaced. Again, his agility just sucks. Like he can't play against smaller guys. Like he's slow. Like he's I don't know. And he fouls a lot. So
yeah,
awful defender. Like I love the guy, but awful defender. Like his IQ is just bottom tier in the NBA.
Jesus Christ! Like
I was not expecting this when we had Evan on the pod,
bro. Like God, you're sounding.
You weren't expecting me to go off on him, huh?
Well, no,
you were more expecting. When Cat comes back, maybe we'll be better because you had that excuse to use. But no,
maybe when
Cat gets traded,
I wasn't expecting Cat is the dumbest and slowest player in the NBA.
I think a lot of fans like if I could show my DMs, like oh my god, there's a lot of people or my comments, man, like the Wolves comments, my comments, just a lot of it's trade Cat, like a lot of it's trade Cat, like get players back, get picks back, like and man, like it's. Maybe we are better with him. He's still a great player. Like, no denying that. He's still a really good player. He's he's an NBA All-Star. Maybe he comes back and maybe our chemistry kind of clicks, saying, hey, guys, like, we're 13 and 14. We got to fucking step up. Like, we know we're a playoff team. Maybe we hit it up. Last year we started 4-9, finished at 7 seed. I mean, we started off slow last year. But we did have new guys last year. We have new guys this year, so maybe it's kind of a slow chemistry thing. So I guess it's hard to say right now. We're like, 25 games in, 27.
Yeah.
Still kind of early, I guess, but it's time to start kind of flipping the switch and seeing where things go. But
yeah, and not that the teams are really similar at all, but I will say when LeBron went back to Cleveland that first year, I think through like 35 games, the Cavs were only like 500. So I mean, there is chemistry there that can be built that may be lacking. But at the same time, the problems I had with Cat was never in the regular season. We all knew he was a baller in the regular season. But come playoffs time, I would be like, where is this all-star, all-NBA impact I'm expecting? And now that's almost bleeding into the regular season. So that I definitely can see why Timberwolves fans would be very okay with moving Cat for some – players who are maybe willing to play a little bit harder, play better defense, and you guys can get some of your capital back,
Like I said, like I would, there's teams, I'm sure Conley ever made Cat available, a lot of teams would call, and I'm sure the Wolves could get a pretty solid package for a 27-year-old all-star center. I mean, there's going to be teams obviously interested. It's just the fact of it seems like that's something that never would happen just due to like, Cat's been so loyal to the Wolves, and like, I feel like he's just so again, it's a business, but I can never see Cat actually being moved, which is like, I don't know. I guess we'll find out, but I doubt it.
We will definitely find out. Before we let Evan go, I want to know from the entire panel. We'll see each person's thoughts. Now, if we had to say today, are the Minnesota Timberwolves going to make the playoffs? On the record, we'll start with Mason. You're saying yes.
The Minnesota Timberwolves will make the playoffs, in my opinion.
Okay, Carter, what about you?
Are we saying like play in, or they have to get out of the play in?
They gotta be top 8 after the play in.
Top 8 after the play in. I'll put them in there.
Okay. What about you, Evan?
I was actually looking at it the other day, so I'm gonna say yes, just because when you look at like 4 through 8, or 5 through 8, it's Portland, Sacramento, and Utah in there. Utah's been really struggling after their first like hot start. They've been like 5 and 8 the past game. I think Utah's gonna slip. Yeah. I think Portland's playing really well. I don't know, man. I think Portland might slip, but I think we're a better team. Like,
you got to pass all 3 of them, assuming Dallas.
You got Sacramento, Utah, Portland in there. I think we pass. I think we're better than all of those teams. We're only a couple of games back, so I think once everything clicks in and we get guys healthy back, we've had 2 of our bench guys out too, with Prince and McLaughlin. So I think once we get healthy and figure it out, I think we'll be like 5 or 6, maybe 7. I don't know. I think we'll make it though for sure.
Okay, John, man, what about you?
I actually don't even know. I want to say yes just by default, but like, I mean, at this point, I can easily see these niggas missing the playoffs. So I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to just say yes, just because I do like how they've been playing without Cat. Even though I know they lost a close one to Portland, like 4 nights ago, and then they got blown out the other game. But I do like how they've been playing without Cat. I've been watching D'Lo. I got him on my dynasty team, so I've been watching that man the last week eat for me. The last 2 weeks eat for me. So
solid. He's been solid.
I'm excited for what D'Lo has been doing. Ant has been looking better, but it has all been without Cat. So like we have to see what happens when Cat comes back. But yeah, I'll give it to him.
Yeah,
I was going to add one more thing. Also, the reason I think people are wanting Cat gone, including I'm open to it, is because I think full on like it's 100% Anthony Edwards' team, and I think like people need to realize that in the league, it's his team. I mean, he just came off a 25-point per game playoff series against Memphis. He outplayed everyone on our team in that series. It's his team. As the only thing we're just waiting on is him to be that consistent guy. I mean, he'll go crazy 2 games in a row, and then next game, he'll have an off night. But I think once he, keeps being confident, knocking down jumpers, and he's been way better on the defensive end too. So it's his team. I mean, I think Cat's got to realize that. I guess I don't know.
Okay.
Interesting stuff, man. Shout out to Evan for coming through. We appreciate you.
Wait, buckets.
You got Minnesota in the playoffs?
Yeah. Don't dodge it.
I was trying to avoid that question. Not gonna lie. I guess by default, I want to say something. You know what? F it. I'll say it, man. If y'all still in this playing situation, and my sorry ass Lakers are there, man, I think we can take y'all out, man. The I'm gonna put it out there, man. The way things are going right now in the seeding.
Sorry, bro. AD will be injured in another 5.
I would love to see y'all in the play-in. That's all I'm gonna say.
Gobert got something for y'all, bro. Don't worry.
What he got? What he got for us?
Just wait and see. He got something for y'all.
Bro, generational hating. The Lakers can make John a Gobert supporter.
You guys said you had a bunch of controversial opinions real quick. Do you guys like Gobert or no? You didn't answer that.
I think Gobert is overrated.
Okay.
I don't know if now he is, because I feel like so many people are just like trashing him, and I believe he's getting a little bit too much blame for what's going on in Minnesota right now. But before he came to
not his fault at all, bro.
I agree, but I'm not gonna say at all. I mean, I think he has some blame, but before he came to Minnesota, I just wasn't. I didn't think he was all that. Defensively, I don't think he's the best defender in the league. I don't think in terms of centers, I don't think he's really up there in terms of like the top 3, whatever. Even he's borderline top 5 for me when I look at centers. So that's how I feel. That's how I feel about it.
Okay.
You said what?
Said interesting.
Yeah, because there's a lot of good centers in the NBA right now, but yeah, and a lot of people throw him in
Is there
top.
really?
Jokic, Joel.
AD's playing the 5 all year.
If we're putting 80 at the 5.
I view AD as a 4, but I guess he's a 5.
Yeah, he's a 5 now, I guess.
My big I don't know if it's necessarily still true this year, but I was a Towns over Gobert guy as well.
I'm not anymore.
Yeah, no more.
He's had a rough year this year.
Gobert, bro, Gobert.
I think people just don't look at I think people look at stats too much when it comes to Gobert, because Gobert is just he's very impactful, bro. Like if when you dive into like games and like what he does, like other than stats, like he's very impactful. Like a lot of people don't like going up against the rim. Obviously rebounding in that he's very good. I mean, he's really good in the pick and roll, opens up a lot. I think just impact wise, he's really good. And
okay, so tell me this though about impact. Who's more impactful, Rudy Gobert or Draymond?
Rudy Gobert.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I feel like they're very similar.
That's a weird thing to compare though. That's like Draymond's role compared to Rudy's role is like Draymond's literally just like Draymond's like a side piece on the Warriors who just plays defense and creates buckets for other people.
This is exactly. I'm so glad you said it like that, because this is exactly what Rudy Gobert is in a lot of ways.
Nah, he's asked to do more than that though. But Rudy's asked to do more than that though.
What he's asked to protect the rim, and he's asked to. They don't even look his way in the paint. A lot of
they
times.
have been more with cat out. That's what I was trying to say. They've been feeding him a lot more with cat out. Like he's been dunking the ball, getting lobs. He's been doing a lot more with cat out.
So what
is Cat the problem? I mean, I don't know.
So they ask him basically on offense to be like Clint Capella, and then on defense to be like elite. Am I wrong? I'm just saying, like, and then on defense they ask him to be an anchor. He does a lot on defense, but I'm just saying for Golden State, they ask Draymond to be the anchor, and then on offense he has more of a responsibility. Not only does he do the screen setting stuff, he's a playmaker. He's someone that has to facilitate the offense a lot of times, and they don't really score that much.
But I feel like calling Gobert a Draymond Green level player isn't that much of an insult. Like,
it's not an insult at all, but it's when you're putting him in top 15, it's like if you're putting him in a tier of players where you're like, oh yeah, Gobert's easily more impactful than Draymond. Like, I feel like it's disingenuous, because that's kind of what Gobert's role is. That's how I view it.
Well, for me, I wouldn't say Gobert's overrated as much as he is overpaid, because that contract's a lot for what he does, in my opinion.
Didn't you say Walker Kessler could do the same shit that Gobert was doing this season?
I saw that on Twitter, and I was messing around.
I was about to say, I was like, that can't be the same.
I did see that on Twitter today, low key.
No, I saw it on Twitter.
It's because he put up like 11 points, 16 boards, and 3 blocks yesterday, and like all the Wolves fans are commenting like, "Damn, you could have been doing the same shit Rudy done." Like,
yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, I mean, I didn't want to use this as a complete Gobert slander thing, because I think there's a lot more problems that are bigger than him. But I mean,
there's really a lot of people hating on Tim Conley. So Tim Conley's in the hot seat right now, according to the whole Wolves fan base. So Tim Conley, if you're watching,
Tim Conley watching
you
the
gotta
Winners
fix your
Work
shit,
Pod.
my boy.
a live call out for his job on the Winners Work podcast.
And it almost seemed like a call out for his safety.
We might have to think of a hiring switch between me and you, Tim Conley.
See, like, the thing with the Wolves' problems is I think Gobert's been a bright spot, borderline, in terms of their problems. It's just what they gave up for him. It just doesn't look worth it.
It's so bad. It looks so bad now.
Vandy's been
I love the trade at first too, but now when you look at it, it's like 4 first and we're performing this bad. Like, You know,
And Vandy and Kessler have been
I
playing
love
really well.
Vando too. Vando was my guy, dude. He was literally one of my favorite players, dude. I was close to him. We talked a few times. He's a great. I love Vando, dude. Love that guy. But you know, he's getting a bigger role in Utah. He's playing really well, so good for him, man.
Yeah, it's
What
just a
did you-
bad look for the Jazz to be doing better.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So for the Jazz to be doing better than the Timberwolves.
Not a good look.
Oh, it's a horrible look, especially after fucking trading them fucking five players and 4 firsts for Rudy Gobert, and they got rid of Mitchell too. To be fair though, like the Jazz do have like a lot of players that like play hard and like they play hard basketball, like But yeah, I mean, there's no way they should be outperforming the Timberwolves. I mean, kudos to them because now they're making us look fucking stupid as shit. So.
Y'all, anyone else got anything else on the Timberwolves before we let Evan go?
I don't think so.
Hey man, Evan, thank you for joining us, man. We really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, bro.
For sure, man. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir, man. Peace.
See ya.
All right, guys.